Netflix.
Yeah.
I watch.
I don't know if it's on there.
I've been getting into movies lately, but I just been fucking working. My life is crazy.
You have been working.
I have, right?
Yeah.
You know what? I had a question, and then we're gonna get into topics. 'Cause I got some topics. Okay. How do you perceive me? Like, what do you think about me and like what I like? Just my brand associated with me. Like, what is your perception? Like, honestly, even like what you've heard behind closed doors about me, if anything. Maybe.
Okay. Well. Okay.
Honestly,
I'll answer, but then I have a follow-up question.
Ooh, fire.
Okay.
Salim, I told you she's good, bro.
I think I told you.
Okay, so
you did.
My perception is that, I've been following suburban LA and suburban in general for pretty much since when it started. And I've seen the way that the platform has grown to really become like a source of information for the community, and I think that's probably the biggest thing is like your brand got bigger than you, which is one of the best things that can happen to somebody who's growing a brand is like you are providing a service, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like your people from the community and even outside the community are looking to your page for like what to do, what's happening. And you have like a niche following of people who are actually LA natives, which I think is probably the most distinctive thing. So that's my perspective from the brand side is like you have a really dope audience.
What about me though?
I mean, I think you're part of the brand.
No.
I don't think you're front and center.
No. What is that word? No PC. What do you think about me? Like, she get nervous. She's behind the ear. Yeah, welcome to Scottie and Friends. We get to the nitty gritty.
I mean, that's a very like vague question. I don't know.
Yeah, she's like, how do you want me to answer that?
She's like, you're so dope.
In relation to your brand?
Just as a person. You have a good idea of like.
Well, I associate you with your brand. Like,
damn, that's crazy. I got to separate. Okay, keep going.
I don't think you need to separate. I think you do a good job at balancing like who you are and interjecting your opinions into relevant things. But I also don't think you need to be like the face of the brand if you don't want to.
Really? Oh, if I don't want to.
No, not necessarily. I don't think.
No, I definitely want to. At this point, I didn't want to, but now I do.
Yeah, I mean, that's an option, but you really would be successful without it too. In that way, like I don't.
Yeah. I can see that. I definitely see that. Go.
There's pros and cons to it because, let's say people do associate you with your brand. Mm-hmm. Something happens, and then your brand is like, taken with that. And I'll use an example of like, I don't know if you're familiar with like the R&B Radar platform.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He did some weird shit or some shit like that.
Yeah, so like the founder of the platform, for example, he was very public about, this is my platform and like had all these opinions. He made himself the face of the brand.
Yeah.
And then some weird shit came out about
it was some weird. What did he do? It was like some sexual shit. Yeah.
Like,
you weird ass.
Like underage. I don't know.
It was like that?
Something like that, yeah. Or like toxic work environment. I don't want to speak too much on it because I'm not sure what's true. But fair. It became, a big deal where it tarnished his brand.
It was some weird shit like that.
And it tarnished him and it both went down. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, not to say anything like that would happen with you, but I'm saying that would make it so that people's opinion of you would also affect their opinion of the brand.
Yeah, no,
and I think there's a benefit in being able to like separate it. Like that's why a lot of like pages are faceless, because it's a perk in having a separate identity.
No, for sure. I definitely agree. You had a question.
Oh yeah, okay. So my follow up was, why do you want to know what my perception is?
Good question.
It's a job interview.
Yeah, one it is.
Yeah, you're about to be co-host.
See if you fit the culture. Two, like, I think I'm always interested to think what like women that I have a certain level of respect for think about me. You get what I'm saying? I feel like women. I mean, I could be wrong. I feel like women talk about people gossip and people talk. You know what I mean? And it's like. Again, I try to remain just super duper just humble and in my own skin. Like I'm not no one that's like, you gotta talk about me. But I feel like if I come up in passing, people have an opinion, and I'm always wanting to know like what people say, like, oh girl, this and this, or what, like whatever it may be. Like I don't give a fuck. People gonna have. I just like to know.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
How do you hope that you're perceived, or how do you think you're perceived?
Damn. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like a therapy question.
That's a crazy. Damn. I don't.
It's a real question.
Shit. That's a great question, bro.
Like, is there a certain way you want to be perceived? Like, how does
man? You know what's crazy? Like, I used in my mind, like before I started to grow my name in my mind, I'm like, yo, I'm on some like Jay-Z shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's up. You know what I mean? And then like, based on the comments, like it's like I'm on some like, or people perceive me on some academic shit. You know what I mean? Or people have seen me and be like, yo, I thought you was like fat and like just like some like, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like you meet me in person, it's like, yo, or people will be like, yo, like, damn, you're cool as fuck. You know what I mean? And which lets me know I feel like people may read the comments, which is all like mostly negative. Like they just paint me as like a weirdo almost. You know what I mean? That's why I'd be like, damn. So I think if you don't know me, you might think like I'm a weirdo, maybe.
Okay, I wouldn't say
damn, this is therapy.
Yeah, but that's interesting that you say that because it goes into like your underlying like theme of being like you don't want to be perceived as this. You know, you obviously want to be perceived as something else, but it's like does that influence, you know, content that you put out? Does that influence the things that you make in order to be able to be perceived as a certain way? I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I get what you're saying. Does it
influence like how you?
Is it a subconscious thing that like I don't want to do this?
Yeah. Because I think once you start getting into comments, I know you said like people can be really negative on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So does that make you feel like you need to like prove yourself?
So I did a consulting group with Patrick Bet David. I don't know if you know who this is. He's like he sold his insurance company for like $300 million. Like he's a multi-millionaire dude. Super great businessman. So I did a consulting group with them. And a part of what we did for 2025 was like choosing our enemies, right? And the people that like were going to drive us to go harder. And a part of those people were like the naysayers, the people who had bad things to say about me. And I say that to say, no, like I made a conscious decision that those people were not going to deter me, but I was going to make a conscious decision that every time I saw that, for instance, like, there's a dude named, I ain't gonna say his name. I'll be one of the name drops. Solomon, we gotta talk about that because we could go viral. But there's a dude that's in the industry that I just like have decided is my enemy. There's people in the comments, every time I see it, it makes me go harder. Like I've decided that that's who my enemy's gonna be.
Why? Why is that your enemy? In what way?
Well, they just think that this nigga trying to take over my interview right now. You trying to take over my show. No, keep doing your thing. But no, like.
I just have questions.
Yeah, no, because, it makes me go harder. Like, tonight when I go home, I'm going to work.
Okay.
Right? I'm tired, but I'm going to go harder because of...
The enemies out there working.
This motherfucker... No, it's not even... They're not... I don't even know if they're working or not.
What's his name?
It's... I don't... That nigga... So, we had an event... We had an event at Amazon last year, and... I had a team with me and she wanted to interview Kaylin. And I've been when you're in these things with a lot of people, like you have to force yourself to get your interview.
Right.
If not, you may not get it.
Yeah.
And so I've done this before and I got my team with me. This is our first opportunity and I had to make a stance of like, we're going to get this. So the lady was like, we're going to get to you. I know how that goes. I forced my interview. This nigga comes over. He was like, he starts saying some shit. He's like, nigga, I know you got your little thing. And I was like, my little what? And so me and him start going back and forth. He ended up kicking me out. I'm like, nigga, use a hoe. Like, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? And so I decided like, yo, you're the reason why I'm finna get successful on these motherfuckers. Because you doubted me. Anybody in the comments is doubting me. I want to take that back to say, I don't let it affect my content. I let it drive the content. And then the second part of it is like, niggas talk shit in the comments. It's rappers out here in LA, Long Beach, all these niggas, they tag me and be like, yo, when I see you, it's up. And I see these niggas and they be smiling and giggling and like, oh, fuck with you, content. Like these niggas is hoes, like honestly.